Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. Today we're going to be talking to two local members of the UK Youth Parliament, Ben and Balraj. We'll also be chatting with globetrotting Kevin Dexter, and there'll be music from James and Matthew from the folk indie band Speak Brother. My first guests today are from the United Kingdom Youth Parliament from the Walsall division, and we welcome Ben and Balraj, who join me today to talk about politics in the younger generation. Welcome guys, thank you so much for coming on Cuppa TV.
Thank you.
Wonderful to have you both here and wonderful to be talking about politics. So Ben, I'll start with you. How did you get involved with this organisation?
Well, I got involved in the Youth Parliament because I attend a local youth club, and the youth workers came and did a presentation, and it really interested me, so I went along to a workshop at the town hall and I learnt more about it, and then I ran for it, and in the election process I got elected as a deputy member of Youth Parliament, so
here you are.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And how about for you, Balraj? Was it the same sort of thing? How did it go?
One of my friends ran 2 years ago for it, and what happened is he didn't get in, but he got into the youth council and became a youth crime commissioner, and it sort of interested me from there. When the chance came up again, I thought I shouldn't miss it this time, so I just went for it.
Wonderful. So did you both get it through the youth club? So that's where you sort of introduced, was it?
I was told in school.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And Ben, what's it done for you being involved?
Well, it's just generally improved my confidence skills and public speaking, and because before I started I don't think I was as confident as I am now.
Now tell us a little bit about it, Balraj. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about it for our viewers who didn't even know, even maybe they didn't even realise it actually existed. So tell us what it actually does, and it's presumably connected to our Parliament in the UK, so tell us a bit more about it.
Well, one of the things we do is, like normal politicians, we campaign for issues, but specifically those which affect the youth.
Right.
One of the things we try and do is to make sure we're accurately representing them. We have a campaign called Make Your Mark. And what we do is, I think there's quite a few issues that people get to vote for. The ones with the most votes, the members of Youth Parliament will debate in the House of Commons. Then we'll pick the top issues and we'll campaign for them nationwide.
Wonderful. So you actually go to the House of Commons?
Unfortunately not us, because we're deputy members of Youth Parliament, but the full members of Youth Parliament get to go.
But when can you become full members of Parliament? How does that work?
You can become a member of Youth Parliament when you're 11 to 18.
So between 11 and 18, and then presumably once you get to 18, and then you can, if you still want to pursue your career in politics, you can continue on to Parliament, yes? Is that right? So what's one of your ambitions, Ben? Is it to go and see the House of Commons? Is it to speak in the House of Commons?
I've always wanted to go and see the House of Commons, but unfortunately I can't go because I'm a deputy, but if I ever run again and become a member, then I can go. So.
Wonderful. So the process is purely elect. So you have somebody elects you, is that right?
Yes.
To get into. So what issues are you talking about at the moment in Walsall?
Well, the big issue that we have is bullying. I believe over 3,000 members of the youth voted for that. I think in July what we did is we did a bullying debate, because bullying is quite a big topic. So we invited, I think, about 2 or 3 representatives from school across the borough, and we looked at either peer education or cyberbullying as issues to tackle. And in the end, we decided to go with peer education because that's what got the most votes. Really?
And Ben, tell us about that. Were you involved with that as well yourself?
We planned it got voted during the election process as the biggest issue in Walsall. So then we came up with the idea of this bully debate to have representatives from each of the schools, and then we basically discussed the different topics within bullying, because bullying is a massive issue.
Yes.
And then we found out that peer education was the way forward.
So tell us expand on that a little bit more, peer education.
So this would involve such as building a toolkit. So what we do is we'll get various resources put into it, and we'll give it to schools to find ways to tackle bullying. One of them is anti-bullying committees. A lot of people, such as myself, were initially sceptical of how effective they were, but I think a couple of years ago at St Thomas More Catholic School, a student committed suicide due to bullying, which is, I suppose, the absolute worst it can get. And one of our members of Youth Parliament came from that school, and he said the way to deal with this, what it is, they created an anti-bullying committee. At first it was just year 7s going in talking about their problems, but eventually even the 6th form got on board with this. I think after a few years it's so successful they're thinking that they don't need the system anymore, and I think if it can work in one school we can make it work everywhere else.
Absolutely. Ben, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that it's a very good way to tackle bullying, because it just gets everyone in the school involved, and creating a resource kit that can be distributed to all the schools. It's a smart and effective way of doing it, because bullying can't be tackled within a year, so it would be sustainable throughout the whole of the schools.
Because it can be an ongoing problem, can't it?
Yeah.
And you're 14,
14, yeah.
So as a 14-year-old, a young man, is it important that you think that you raise these issues, that you've got this UK parliamentary youth that can actually help you raise these issues?
Yeah, because just as a general young person, we don't have many people to speak out for us. We don't have any unions, or, well, we do, but students, but yeah, and it's just the youth parliament. It's a very good way to connect with young people and to network and to just generally raise the level of importance for young people and campaign against things that matter to us.
And do you think, Balraj, I'll offer it to you, do you think the youth are actually engaged in politics? Do you think there's a lacklustre really for people wanting to go and vote? Do you think by having things like this it encourages youth to get involved in politics, or do you think it doesn't make any difference at all?
I think it's not that young people don't care about politics. I think it's that they don't think their voice matters. Things such as youth parliament show what we really are capable of and what people can do. I mean, alongside the youth parliament, we have a youth council, so even if people don't get voted in, they can still get their views across in other ways. Yeah,
so in other words, if you're not actually involved directly with the youth parliament, there's still other things you can do outside.
Yeah.
What else can we do, Ben, to raise awareness of the youth parliament, do you think, in the schools?
I think it could be advertised a bit more, so maybe we could visit the schools and do a presentation and do just raise awareness of it within the schools, and we've already planned to do that, so once you've got it rolling, we'll be well known.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it is well known? Do you think that that people do know about the youth parliament?
Well, not too much. I mean, sometimes when I speak with my friends, they'll ask me, "Oh, Balraj, what are you doing
yes.
now?" And I have to explain to them. But I think it's year on year we're doing more and more to get an outreach, and I think we're getting more and more people as we go along.
Because Balraj, you're older, aren't you? You're 16.
Yeah.
And was it something you thought you'd be involved in?
If I knew about it, then yes, but it's because I didn't, and I think that's where maybe more people need to be aware of this. As soon as I learnt about it, I knew straight away this is something I wanted to do.
Yeah. And when you become, an adult and you can vote, 18, is that very important to you that you have that ability to vote in the UK?
Yeah, I think some people might take it for granted. I was looking at some statistics regarding, I think it's 75% of pensioners vote and only 44% of 18 to 25-year-olds vote. And when you look at what older people get, they tend to have a lot more free things or things going that way. Because the youth don't think their voice counts and not letting it be heard, they're being ignored a bit more. I think maybe by being a bit more involved, and if I use my vote properly, things can get done.
How about you, Ben? What are your thoughts on that? Are you the same? Do you think that by having the ability to vote, that's important for somebody in the UK to have that?
Yeah, because
ability
then
to vote?
you can contribute to the things that happen in your country. So get your voice heard.
And what would you like to see happen? Is there something you've seen, or?
In my opinion, I think the biggest issue facing young people, is the youth services, and because due to massive budget cuts in government and just general parliament, a lot of youth services are being cut, and I think that's really, it hasn't done good for the young people, because that's where a lot of people can go to get involved in things, do activities, gain new skills, and it's just a great shame.
I mean, that's interesting because bullying was highlighted as one of your, when you did your presentation, bullying was a very large topic, and it has been noted. In the UK we do have a huge problem with that in the UK and in other countries as well. Was it important that you saw that campaign from the start to the end, Ben, or is it still an ongoing thing? Are you still working on that one? Are you?
Yeah, we started. When it got voted in, we started planning it, and then we held the bully debate to debate the issues and how to actually do it, because it is such a big issue. And in our next 2 years of office, well, till 2017 I think it is, we'll just continue working hard on that campaign and hopefully not make bullying such a big issue in Walsall.
And why is it, do you think, Balraj, that it's such a big issue? Not just in Walsall but all over the UK for the young?
Well, I think for year 7 to 9 mainly, I think as you get older you're going to realise the limits of your friends. At first you might joke around too much, have a bit of banter with the lads, this sort of idea, and I think people might sometimes take their jokes too far without knowing it. And it's that sort of thing that needs to be stopped, really.
Yeah. And how can we stop it? What can we do?
Well, I think we need something long-term which sort of changes the social attitudes more so than just telling people off or saying we have a strict anti-bullying policy. So, like I said, the anti-bullying committee which they do at Thomas More, I think it stopped the idea of people being grasses or just telling off someone else. I think it made it acceptable to tell off bullies and let them know that what they're doing isn't right. But also giving a bit of understanding, because if someone's a bully, no one's born to be bad. Sometimes there's reasoning behind it. So maybe helping the bullies out themselves, seeing why they're acting like that, is also a way to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, so really looking at the problem from both sides,
yes.
Looking at the bully and the person that's being bullied. And what other issues, Ben, do you find that the young have to cope with at the moment? We spoke about mental illness on this programme. Suicide in the young has unfortunately increased here in the UK. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that mental health is also a big issue for young people, because it's mental and you don't necessarily know if someone's going through what they're going through. So it needs to be, the general awareness of it needs to be raised, and it should be, the stigma to do with mental health, that needs to be got rid of, and think, oh yeah, he's got mental health problem, he's not part of the community. So that needs to be got rid of, and we need to make accessible services to people who are suffering from mental health problems, to make them come back into society
and improve their life. What would you say to that, Balraj? Would you say that there is a problem at the moment with mental health issues with the young?
Yeah, I think people might not take it as seriously, because if you see someone walking in with a broken leg, it's a lot more shocking to see. Whereas when it's sort of mental issues, people don't necessarily see the scars which are inside, but sometimes they can hurt a lot more.
Yeah, and what other positive things have you done for Walsall? What other campaigns have you done so far?
Well, we've sort of just started, so I'd say bullying's the main one. One thing is I'm working alongside the National Citizens Service, NCS. Yeah. So we've tried to help a local food bank. So what we've been doing on weekends, we've been just collecting food and handing out leaflets with NCS to raise campaigns for that. Also, one thing was, as Ben mentioned earlier, there's the youth clubs, which I think maybe he can talk more about. Yes. He managed to get a petition going, which went to the council.
Oh, tell us about that then, Ben.
The local youth club I go to is in Aldridge, and as all the youth clubs in the borough of Walsall, the council's threatening to close them down, and I think that would be a really great shame. And so I started this petition, and it got, I think, just over 700 signatures.
Wow.
So it had to go to a scrutiny meeting in the council. It's where the head of the service had to do a report on it, and I think
you had so many signatures.
Yeah, and I think it's just raised a lot of awareness of it, because it's not really advertised that much, and not many people know that it's actually there for accessible for young people.
Why do you think the youth clubs and the youth accessories are, what's accessible to the youth, why do you think that's on decline? Why do you think the government have decided to withdraw funding for that?
Because I think generally just the deficit of the government, they need to save a lot of money to get out of debt. And the youth clubs, they provide a lot of skills, activities, and just general ways to occupy the young people's time. So I think that the government, because they're adults, they might not realise what it's like to be a young person.
And as you said, Ben, it built your confidence as well. Yeah. So would you say the same, Balraj? Has it built your confidence up doing what you're doing, being involved with the Youth Parliament?
Definitely. I think my friends have noticed that about me and the way I come across. So I think it's really helped me out in that sense.
And would you say it's helped with your schoolwork, with your studies?
Yes, I think one of the things is sometimes, even in class, if we're just doing a little PowerPoint presentation, I'll sometimes be able to come across very well using skills I can transfer from here.
Sit next to him, he'd be very good. And Ben, how about for you, Ben? What would you like to do in the future? What's your future with the Parliament? Would you like to continue to be involved with it until all the way through, even in your adult life?
Yeah, maybe. I think I'm always going to be involved in getting young people's voice across, because it makes you feel really satisfied knowing that you've actually made a difference in the society. And it's just improved my skills, like in economics. Say if we had to do a debate, I'd just sit quiet, whereas now I'd actually get involved and speak out. Yeah.
And is it important to you that your voice is heard?
Yeah, because if nobody speaks, we can't make a difference. So if we are the voice of the people of Walsall, we can make a difference.
And there's divisions all over the UK, isn't there, Balraj? It's not just here in Walsall, you've got divisions all over the UK. And do you get together at all to discuss what's happening as a UK body?
Yes, I think in this November the members of Youth Parliament meet in the House of Commons, as mentioned earlier. I think a couple of weeks back there was the annual council meeting, so we went to London at the Royal National Hotel, and there was a big meeting there, and we all discussed, I think it was the policies for the British Youth Council, so things we want to try and tackle. Because whilst we try and tackle local issues, there's also sort of international outlook. So I think one of the issues that got voted in to try and tackle was women's rights across the world. So that's something we're looking for.
Fantastic. So it's just, there's a whole scheme of things that you could be doing, really. So for you, Ben, just to finish off then, would you like to be a politician? I have to ask you that question.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't have to say yes.
Yeah, I'm not really that sure.
Spoken
yet.
like a true politician. I'm not sure. That's it, but something you're still interested in.
Yeah.
And how about for you, Balraj?
Well, I like to keep my options open, so it's something on the table.
Wonderful. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me here on Cuppa TV, and good luck with all your campaigning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So stay with us for just a moment. We're going to take a quick break. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. Joining me now is Kevin Dexter, all the way from Canada, and he's a male model, an actor, a blogger, and a world traveller, to name but a few. I'm breathless. Hello, hello, Kevin. Good morning.
Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful to have you on Cuppa TV. So, Kevin, what brings you to this lovely part of the world?
I'm originally here visiting a friend who I met in Thailand, traveling. We were both doing modeling contracts, and I'm currently doing a trip to Europe. Me and some friends are buying a car. We're driving around, seeing everything.
Great.
Spending a month, and so I'm here to see her.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell us about your male modelling career, Kevin. How did that start?
It's never something that I planned to do. I actually started as a production assistant on TV shows. And then through that, watching people work as actors, I thought, man, that's interesting. I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And then I took an acting class, and then I got an agent. The agent said, well, you should model as well. And then fast forward 4 years, I wanted to travel. And so I told them, I'm going to take some time off, I'm going to go do some traveling. And I said, well, why don't you do a modeling contract?
Yes, because then you can travel and earn money at the same time.
And I had no idea. I said, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, well, they'll pay for everything and you can go work. I said, this is an opportunity? Like, I didn't know about this? How did you not tell me about this?
Why didn't you tell me about it before?
So I went for 3 months to Bangkok and stayed for 6. I originally was supposed to be there for 3. And I went back to Canada. I'm like, okay, I should get my life in order, go back to regular life. And 2 weeks in, I couldn't stay. I had to go. And so I said, okay, where can we go? What's the next contract?
So once you've got that travel bug, that's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. And when you were in Bangkok and Thailand, how did you find the people? Because the people there are so friendly.
Absolutely. It's the land of the smiles, and that's very, very true. They're warm, they're friendly, they don't have a lot, and they'll give all of it to you. I love Thailand. Thailand could easily be somewhere I end up staying.
Yeah.
It's the food, the energy. Bangkok's not for everybody. It's a little aggressive, the pollution, but if you can get past that, it's a beautiful place, and the islands obviously are amazing. I'm sure you've been.
Yes, yeah. It's one of those places I think where people want to go and visit, just from a spiritual point of view as well. Lots of people go there for spiritual retreats, actually.
They have a lot of that.
Yeah. So when you were doing your male modelling, what do you do? Do you go into magazines, videos? What do you do?
There's
Tell
all
us
sorts
about
of.
it.
Modeling's an interesting thing, and there's many different facets of it. I'm a commercial guy. I'm the guy with the cheesy smile holding the drink. You know, that's what usually what I do. I do a lot of commercial TV stuff, but there can be many different things. You could be a runway guy. You can be editorial. I liked doing commercial work because it's a little bit more friendly and less attitude, and it pays better.
Yes, yeah.
Which is pretty nice.
Yes, and you can go travelling.
And you do the stuff on the beach. You get to be the happy guy on the beach as opposed to the guy in a studio.
But it's hard work though, isn't it? As a model, people forget that, you know, you can't just rock up and look pretty. You've got to, there's a lot of work that goes on behind that.
Absolutely. Like if you're doing a contract, you need to be, you're available to them for those 30 or those 3 months, for however long it is. You're, at any moment, you need to be at a casting, you need to be in great shape. You need to be willing to do anything. You need to be willing to walk into a room in your underwear and sell yourself to a bunch of strangers, which sounds very weird. But it really is that. Like, you have to be able, you're a jack of all trades. They ask you, or how good are you at underwater welding? You're like, oh, great.
Yes.
You know, like,
do you just say yes? Say yes and think about it later.
That actually happened to me one time. They said, how good are you at riding a motorcycle? And I hadn't ridden one. And I lied to my teeth. I said, oh, fantastic, great. And then I booked this job, and they're like, you're going to be on a Ducati Monster, which is a pretty big bike.
That's a big bike.
There's going to be this girl on your back, and you're going to be racing a Lamborghini. And in my head, I'm thinking, uh-oh, like, what am I doing? I said, so can I like get a little bit of time on the bike before, maybe do like a couple, just to get the feel of the bike. I've never ridden that particular one.
Exactly.
And they're like, no, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And so inside I'm like, oh wow, what am I doing? And I show up on the day to shoot the thing, and they're introducing me to everybody. There's a Lamborghini, there's this amazing bike, here's the girl, and there's my stunt driver.
Yes.
And they're like, this guy's gonna drive it for you. I'm like, oh.
So,
like,
thank you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like I was losing it inside. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what's going on?
But you have to do that though, don't you? Sometimes.
Absolutely. You have to say yes and then figure it out.
What's been the most exciting trip that you've done? That's where your modelling's taken you.
I love South Africa. Cape Town, amazing. It's such a relaxed, beautiful place. You can get up in the morning, you do your surfing, you go do your castings, you go to the gym, you lie on the beach, and you hike a mountain at sunset.
Oh.
Like it's...
Why are we here?
Yeah, I know. I spent 6 months, actually 9 months in total, but 6 months last time, and it was amazing. But then from there, I went to, I did a little traveling, and I went to Shanghai.
Yeah.
And that's a totally different world. It's, from the ground up, they do it different. Yeah. And the difference between the two is night and day. I mean, every time you leave the house, you might die. Like that's, and it's a little bit of energy. Like it adds a little energy to your day. Which
has the travelling, sort of made you who you are today, Kevin? Has it shaped you? Do you think all your experiences?
Hugely. It's funny because I've only been really traveling like this for the last 4 years. I've been on the road pretty much constantly, but it's totally changed me. And I don't want to impose my ideals, my values on people and say that you have to go travel, because your adventure is where you choose to find it.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to try and get your friends, get out there, trust me, put yourself somewhere where you don't know and you'll figure it out and you'll grow stronger from that.
Some people enjoy it and some people are quite happy, being where they are. And do you blog about your travel and all your experiences?
I have a blog called Change the Way It Is. It's actually called The Unreasonable Man, but you can find it at changethewayit.is at blogspot.com. And I talk about the job I do, but more so about things that we're all going through, because modeling is not something everyone relates to, and it's not me. It's a job I've done. I'm lucky to have done it, but it's not who I am. And so the traveling is much more who I am. And so I love to talk about that and try and motivate people to get out there and go somewhere new and put themselves somewhere where they haven't been and grow through it.
And as an actor, I mean, that's a career that you could do, and that could take you, on your travels.
Totally.
That would be another career. So really, you're sort of choosing careers that can get travelling there.
Absolutely.
At some point.
Anything I can do that's going to keep me on the road is something I want to do. Yeah.
And where would be a place that you'd most like to go that you haven't visited yet?
I'm really wanting to get to Mumbai, India. Well, all of India. I want to go to Iceland, which I have some plans. There's many places. I'd like to get to Turkey. There's South America. Absolutely South America.
Yes. Why South America?
The people. I've met a lot of Brazilians. There's a lot of Brazilians, a lot of Russians. Actually, I'd like to go to Russia as well. In modeling. And you meet a lot of these people, and they just seem to have like a joy of life. They're always kind of dancing and happy. And I just would like to get there.
When you're traveling, Kevin, do you find that the people you meet are genuinely pleased to see you and take you in, and they're very hospitable? Do you find that?
Yes, I do. It's
as a Canadian travelling abroad.
It's interesting as a Canadian because they often assume I'm American.
Yes.
And then when they find out I'm Canadian, they're like, "Oh," which is this funny little thing.
Oh.
I'm lucky to be from a country that has a good reputation around the world, and so I'm very lucky to have that. But I find that people want to celebrate someone who's off enjoying the world, and when they meet someone who's traveling, they're very warm and friendly. And it doesn't. That's the cool thing about traveling. You see the differences, but you see the similarities in people, which is the good thing. I mean, you've done lots of traveling. You know this.
Yeah.
And it's really cool when you go somewhere and they're worried about the same things you are, and they love the same things you do, and so many people are willing to help you. I think as kids we're taught, don't trust strangers, and I get that to a point, but the kindness of a stranger it's a wealth, and especially
sometimes
you
it
learn
can
that
just
traveling.
be a random act of kindness.
Totally.
Where you're not expecting it. They're usually the best, actually, when somebody does that to you.
Absolutely.
But, so you're obviously continually travelling at the moment.
Yeah.
You're here in the UK. So where are you going in Europe? What are you doing?
Okay, so tomorrow I'm going back to London.
Yes.
We're going to get this car, and my friend from Spain, another friend from London, and one from Sweden. We're going to go through France, we're going to go through Spain, Portugal, Italy, drive the coast, and then we're going to go up into Eastern Europe possibly and bounce around. We'll see how much time we have.
Yes, see how much time. And when you're doing your modelling, go back to modelling just a minute, who have you worked with? Have you worked with anybody that we might know?
I've done all sorts of different things. You also do music videos.
Yes.
I've done some music videos. I did a music video with Carly Rae Jepsen, the girl, Canadian girl, great, very, very nice Canadian girl who did "Call Me Maybe."
Yes.
That song
yes,
that
we
blew
know
up.
That. That's the one that Justin Bieber took that one on, didn't he, as well? I think he's the one that probably made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did a video
he's another
with
Canadian
her.
guy. Yeah, I've done all sorts of random things. As a model, I mean, I've done stuff for Apple. I've done stuff from Samsung, Netflix. Did a commercial for Axe, Pall Mall cigarettes, Lucky Strike.
To loads. Will you continue to do that, Kevin? Can you see yourself doing that, or do you think your career will change?
I don't think I want to do contracts anymore. I want to do a lot of things. I've been lucky enough to do a lot of things in my life at this young age, and I want to do a lot more. And so I think that if I stay in that realm of modeling, I'm not growing. It's been fun, and I think it's something I'll always have as a side job, but as a contract where it's the focus for 3-4 months, I don't think so. And I'd love to go back to acting.
I was going to say, I was just about to ask you that. Is acting with something you would like to do?
Definitely. I've done it. And it's something I want to go into. I know it's something that I can do, and it's something that I can play a part the way no one else can.
Tell us what you've been in. What have you been doing?
Well, I've done all sorts of stuff, a lot of independent things, small stuff, nothing huge, a lot of commercial stuff, a lot of music videos. But
Again, it's all experience, though.
It's totally experience. And actually, the traveling has been a phenomenal experience, because oftentimes as an actor, when you look on the page and you're saying, okay, who is this character? And I can say, oh, I met that guy when I was in Sri Lanka, you know, or wherever.
Yeah. And do you keep in contact with the people that you've met abroad?
I do. And it's funny, like I think of people who were traveling before social media. I mean, social media has tons of things that drive me crazy, but
where
how
were we
did
before
you do
it?
it before? Like, how do you keep in touch with somebody? You meet these amazing people and you just have to say goodbye.
Yes.
Which is so hard, and it's hard as it is now. But I know I can keep in touch with them. We can do.
Now you can FaceTime.
And messages.
And everything, So really, the world has shrunk, really.
Amazingly so.
You can just you travel, but then you can come back.
Absolutely.
And you can stay in contact.
Which is a perfect example of why I'm here. I mean, I'm here because I kept in touch with a friend I met in Bangkok.
Yes.
And here I am talking to you.
Wonderful. Well, Kevin, it's been so lovely to meet you. Thank you so much. And happy travels. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break now, but stay with me and join me after the break. Welcome back to Cuppa TV. My final guest today is Speak Brother, a folk indie band, and I'm joined by James Herring and Matt Cotterill from the band. Hi guys, welcome to Cuppa TV.
Hello.
And I know there's 4 of you, and I've only got 2 of you today, so it's lovely that you could join me. So guys, tell me a little bit about your band. How did it all start?
I was originally doing solo stuff on my own, sort of writing songs and just sort of performing in sort of smaller venues, pubs, clubs and stuff, and doing my own thing. And I started writing songs where the sound it felt like there needed to be more there for when we were performing. So I found Matt and Nath, who now play, and eventually we played together for about a year, just under my name as James Herring Band, I guess, if you like.
Yes.
I didn't like that. I didn't like James Herring Band because it felt like it was all about me.
Yes.
And so the guys, I guess, liked what we were doing.
Yes. And then it became Speak Brother.
And then it became Speak Brother.
So Speak, comma Brother.
That's right. That comma is very important.
Yes, very important. Absolutely. It's your name. It's very important.
Yes.
How did that come about? How did the name come about?
Well, this is a question's asked in every single interview.
Yes, that's right.
So we wanted to have a name that we could actually mean something to us.
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, I don't know, it's what we thought sounded good.
So that was it. So just a name.
Our music's really about conversation. The song's very story orientated, and at gigs we love chatting with people. So we wanted a name that kind of is an invitation for people to come up and have a chat with us.
And I mean, you describe yourself as a folk indie band. So just I mean, for folk, it's actually, we're seeing a resurge of folk music. Would you agree? We're seeing more interest in folk music now than ever before. Was it important to you, James, you kept that genre?
I suppose what I've been kind of learning really is that there is a lot to folk music that isn't just traditional folk, and we're not traditional folk in any stretch of the imagination.
When you say you're a folk band,
we're not really folk.
You've got this image, I think.
You got the image of Mumford and Sons, or or like Dickie Bowes and
Morris Dances. Actually, I was going to say that's right. Yeah, that's it. You do.
But we aren't. I'd say our music has, and the reason why we say folk indie is because it has certainly got sort of tinges of folk to it, to the sound of it, the sort of musicality of it. There's lots of harmonies, there's lots of dynamics, and there's a lot of songs are story-based songs, and I guess that kind of Speak Brother are kind of
there you say that it comes because you're telling a conversation almost.
Well, exactly,
in your
and
song.
that's kind of what it's about.
And do you write together, or the two of you, or all four of you? How does that work?
James is the main man.
He's the main man.
I write.
No pressure.
Well, yeah, sometimes there is. On a weekly basis, I get the question.
We're very demanding.
Yes, I get the question. So, have you written any more songs yet, James? Is that not yet? But no, I think
you tend to write.
I tend to write. I would bring forward a song that the very much bare bones song. So it'd be like just a verse and a chorus, and maybe it might be just the lyrics maybe on its own with some melodies, and I'll bring it to the guys, and they will give a yay or nay and give their pointers, and I'd go away maybe and amend some stuff, and then have something a bit more full, and then we'll have once we have something that we can really latch onto, that's when we'll be able to sort of all come together as a group and flesh out and make it sound good, basically.
Yes. And where have you performed so far? What gigs have you done?
That's a general
some
question.
Some of the highlights for us.
Some highlights would be good.
Yeah.
Some of the highlights have been the festivals that we've played this year.
Yeah.
Witchwood Festival was a particular highlight
yeah.
at Cheltenham Racecourse.
Yes.
And the crowd was incredible that day.
Yeah, we managed to get a good slot at the Hobgoblin stage, which was nice because we like Hobgoblin.
There we go. See.
And they gave us a free beer as well, which was nice. That was great. We also played Greenbelt.
Yes.
Which is also great.
Is that in Cheltenham? That's in.
It was
there,
Cheltenham, but they've gone to Kettering.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, that's kind of the area.
Festival. It's a really good festival.
Somewhere, yeah, it's really nice. That was really cool. That was the first time there, so that was great.
So you've done quite a few.
We've done.
Would you like to do Glastonbury?
Well, if you're offering.
Yes. Anybody listening and watching, they quite like to do it. Is that something for you? Is it important though you engage with your audience? Is that something? Because your music, as you say, you tell a conversation.
Yeah.
So you want to engage with your audience.
That's it. I mean, we all our songs are inspired by moments, I guess, like many other songs. But we like to communicate what they are in many ways, and so what we'd love to do is sort of inspire sort of thoughts or conversations off the back of that, and kind of just sort of make points and see what people think, and I guess it's sometimes gigs can be a little bit more about the music and sort of stories behind it as well.
Well, I know we're going to see your video towards the end of the show, but let's have a listen to what you can do now. So what are you going to play for us now?
Well, okay, so to start us off, I mean, I thought we could play just a song that we're going to release off our new EP.
Perfect.
Which will be out in the autumn.
Okay.
It's called Slow to Now.
Okay.
And it's a song about living in the moment and realising the people that you have around you at the time, because it's very easy to forget all your friends and family when you are trying to make your way in
when you're focused on your music, really.
Well, for us it's focusing
it's a good
on
reminder for us.
It's a great reminder for us, because you can get so busy and almost like your whole world is like doing things like this and radio and gigs and writing songs and your world becomes very narrow and quite selfish and so it's important to remember the people your friends around you, because that's how you stay sane at the end of the day.
I think all musicians would say that though.
Yeah,
it's when anybody's creative, you do tend to just focus just on your creativity and everything else.
The way, without talking too much, I did say I will talk a lot.
That's fine. Is he always like this?
Always.
But it's fine. It's what we like.
It's a talk show anyway.
Exactly.
Right? So
we need it.
You get me on a talk show, I will talk.
Exactly. Quite right. I'm very happy.
I guess I was the way my mind was thinking was that it's like that of the streets of London, or a busy
Yes.
street, or Birmingham, or whatever,
Yes.
where you'd quite easily just be walking past hundreds of people,
Yes.
and they wouldn't even notice you. You wouldn't notice them, and you're in your own world, and you don't really care about anyone else really at the time. All you're thinking about is, right, I've got to get to this next meeting, I've got to get to this next thing, got to do that, got to buy some shoes because of blah blah blah, whatever it is.
Yes.
Don't know why I said shoes, but
Random, but it's fine.
I don't really buy shoes, but yeah, whatever it is,
Yeah.
I think we can quite easily. Anyone, I think, it doesn't have to be just about music
Yeah.
or whatever you're
Yeah.
doing. Day-to-day lives can be very much about you, and that's just how life is these days. Everyone seems to be busy,
Yes.
and so I think
So this song really came about from that,
exactly.
and put it back in. Well, let's have a listen.
Yeah.
And,
All right, let's do that.
and we'll enjoy that.
Painting skies pass us by. I've ran far against the tide, and all we've seen is a distance fade from sight. September haze in the evening sun, the heavens burn and my eyes are warm. Now I'm tired and cold, but it does me well to see you here. Let's take our time, 'cause you know we've got all night to slow to now, and hear the waves run through the stones, and still the mind and cleanse the soul. I'm learning we weren't built to be alone here. Let's take our time, 'cause you know we've got all night to slow to now. So walk with me, let's forget the what might be, to slow to now. Let's take our time, 'cause you know we've got all night to slow to now. Take our time, 'cause you know we've got all night to slow to now.
Lovely. How lovely was that? That was so good. Thank you. When did you write that?
Yeah, I wrote that the end of last year.
Wonderful.
I think. Yeah.
Presumably in September, because there's a
Yes,
lyric.
that's right.
Hinting at September.
Yes, in September.
About a
It was
year ago now.
The end of
Yeah.
the summer last year, after a very, very, very busy period
Yes.
of gigging, and I went away with my wife
Yes.
on a 4-day sort of long weekend.
Vacation, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and yeah, I guess it was a moment there when I kind of realised, I don't know if you've ever had this moment, but
Yes.
it's just like, you kind of just realise, penny drops, and you're just like,
Yes,
that's
I've
what
had
life
those
is
moments.
about.
Yes, that's right, yes.
It's like this special time, I don't know, like I get it sometimes when, I had it when when I saw my nephew for the first
Yes.
time, and
Yeah.
it's just really nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
nice moments.
Yeah, exactly. Those moments where you think life is about people really,
Yes.
at the end of the day.
So, what's the future for the band? I'm going to bring you in. What's the future? Would you say? Where would you like to be in a year's time?
There's a question.
Well, we're going to, you're in the show, you're going to be seeing a video called Lions Roar,
Yes, that's
which is what we've been doing at the moment, and that's been around the World Cup. We're a band from rugby,
Yes.
and that's been a really big thing that
Yes.
we've been doing.
Tell us about that. I mean, we're in World Cup.
Yeah.
We're in World Cup rugby season. So tell us about that. The song came about.
Yeah.
Lions Roar.
That's right. I mean, we
Great title.
Yes, we had this song Lions Roar, and because like Matt, we're from rugby.
Yes.
We're a rugby band, and we were asked by the Borough Council to write the song for the Rugby World Cup, basically, because they really wanted, being the rugby, the home of rugby, the
Yes,
birthplace of
of
the game.
course, yes.
They wanted to really stamp their mark on their ownership of
Yes.
that, basically, and celebrate the fact that they're
Yeah.
the birthplace of the game
Absolutely.
and stuff. And
yeah.
so as part of that, they asked us to write a song, and so we did. It was very much an open brief. Just write a song that's about rugby.
Great.
And you're like, okay. Never really had a brief for a song
Yes,
before,
that's
so
right, yeah.
it was a bit odd to, and you can't just
But
write a
what
song
a
about.
privilege, though. Were you privileged?
Well,
Did you feel
absolutely honoured.
privileged to do
Yeah.
that?
Really,
And
really
honoured.
honoured to
Yeah.
do that, and to see, we've written the song, and to see where we've come from. That it's just been
And what's
great.
happening with the song? Is it because I know they've got the official song, of course.
Yeah.
But
So we
is
are Rugby Town's
Rugby
official
Town's
song,
official song.
and I guess we were
Fantastic.
also kind of pitching it as the alternative song for the game, because not everyone's a fan of it. I mean, it's great, the one they've got.
Yes.
It's cool, but
But it's just having something different, as
yeah.
you say, for your hometown of rugby.
exactly.
So what have you done with it? Have they been playing it, in rugby? Has it been on the radios?
Yeah,
and things
yeah. So it's
there?
been
Has it
all over the
out?
local media, papers
Yeah.
and radio, and yeah,
Wonderful.
just
Yeah, the town's really championed it.
yeah.
Have
We've
they?
had
The town have loved
we've got
it,
the
yeah.
local mayor,
Yes.
our town mayor behind us.
Yes.
With the local radio station, Rugby FM,
Yeah.
have been pushing it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about 500 school kids actually sing on the song,
Really?
on the
Yeah.
recording.
And that's schools from rugby that do that, do they?
All the schools, and a load of schools,
Fantastic.
not all of them, but
Yeah.
a lot of them who were able to
Brilliant.
sort of lend their kids.
Yeah, yes, yes.
as it
Here
were.
we are,
But it was
yeah.
great because I mean, I
Sense
didn't know
of
how it was going to
community,
be.
though,
but
that
well,
could be,
exactly,
because you're involving people from rugby. You're from rugby.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's that great sense of community, which I think rugby is all about. That, isn't it? This great sort of
It
sense
is.
of community.
It is,
with
and we didn't
rugby.
want to make. We didn't. What was really on our minds and hearts was that we didn't want it to be something that we just have our own agenda and
Yes.
and it's just all about what we're
Yeah.
doing as a band, and we might lend it to Rugby Town for a little bit, and then
Yes.
we'll have it.
Have it back.
It's
Yes.
it's very much, we wanted to really allow people to have ownership over it, and so
Wonderful.
so we had
Excellent.
400 odd kids crammed into the main town hall, Ben Hall in Rugby, and we recorded this live on air,
Wonderful.
and then we put it on the track as well, and it's great. So
Well, we're
yeah.
going to play out the show with it, so
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
brilliant.
But guys, we're going to leave it there. So it's been
Yeah.
a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you so much, and we're going to enjoy now. So introduce your song to us.
Well, this is Lions Roar by Speak Brother. You can get it on iTunes and everywhere on there, so make sure that we can watch on YouTube, and you can watch it right here. You saw it first.
Absolutely, Cuppa TV. That's great. Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you, Matt. I'd like to thank all my guests today, Ben and Balraj. We've got Kevin, James, and Matt, of course, from Speak Brother. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so on Facebook or Twitter at Big Centre TV. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and come back and see you very soon. Bye bye.
Nice the men we were, we lost our tongues and heart. Nice the men we were, we forgot what's ours. Well, I say no more, lost our tongue, heart. And as the men we were, we forgot what's ours.